Today, we're diving into the vanishing of Rico Harris, a former Harlem Globetrotter, a guy who was just larger than life in every single way. And his disappearance is one of the most baffling cases you'll ever hear about.
Right? I mean, how does a 6'9" giant just vanish without a trace? It's the central paradox of this whole story. A guy that big, you'd think he'd be impossible to miss, and yet one day, he was just gone. What we're going to get into here is a story of incredible promise, but also deep, deep struggle, and a mystery that honestly still has zero answers. So where does a story like this even begin? Well, for Rico Harris, it doesn't start with a person. It starts with a car. It's October 14th, 2014, and a discovery in this really remote spot, well, it kicks off a massive investigation that's still going on today.
And the location, that's really our first clue. We're talking about Yolo County, California, in a parking area overlooking Cache Creek. This isn't just some rest stop off the interstate, no. This place is desolate. It's rugged. It's way, way off the main highway. You don't end up here by accident. You have to choose to drive here, which right away tells you this probably wasn't just a simple car breakdown.
Okay, so a county worker is the one who finds it, a black Nissan Maxima, and immediately things are just off. The car is sitting there in this super isolated spot, and it's completely unlocked.
And it gets even weirder. The key, it's still in the ignition. The stereo is actually blaring music. I mean, it's like the driver just popped out for a second and was planning on coming right back. It's a really eerie scene.
So your first thought might be, okay, maybe a robbery? But no way. His wallet and his credit cards are just sitting there on the back seat. All his stuff is still in the car. This wasn't a crime of opportunity. The only thing missing was the driver, the 6'9" giant, Rico Harris.
So to really get a grip on this mystery, you have to understand the man at the center of it. Who was Rico Harris?
I mean, look at this timeline. Rico's life was a total roller coaster of incredible highs and just devastating lows. He was a legit phenom. In high school, he makes it, he realizes his dream, joins the Harlem Globetrotters, but then, just 1 month in, a career-ending injury changes literally everything. That one moment sends him into this period of really deep struggle. But, and this is key, he fought his way back. He got sober, he was starting a brand new life. And that's what makes what happened next so confusing.
And for the people who knew him best, his family, they called him the glue. You know, even with all his personal battles, he was this charismatic, joyful guy. He was the center of their world.
But to really understand that struggle, we've got to go back to that moment. The moment his dream was just tragically derailed. Just think about that for a second. 1 month. 1 month into living the dream, and it's all over. He suffers the severe head injury. Some reports say it was from an assault, and it has these lasting, devastating effects. His coordination was never the same, and the career he had spent his entire life working for, poof, gone in an instant. After the injury, his life really became this story of two different people in one body. You had the promise, Rico, the globetrotter, the charismatic guy, the glue, the future star. And then there was the pain. His private battle with bipolar disorder, addiction, legal troubles, even homelessness. It's like he was living these two completely separate lives. But that's not where his story ends. Not by a long shot. Rico fought back, and for a good long while, he was winning. This next chapter of his life, it's all about redemption.
7, that's a big number. That's how many years Rico stayed sober after he went into rehab back in 2007. This wasn't just some brief moment of clarity, you know? This was a long, sustained, successful fight to rebuild his entire life piece by piece.
And it was working. He was really succeeding. He got a stable job in security. He reconnected with his family. He was in this serious, loving relationship with his girlfriend, Jennifer Song. In fact, he had just moved up to Seattle to start a whole new life with her, just a month before he disappeared. I mean, everything was finally looking up for him. And that's what brings us right back to that final fateful drive, and all the questions that still have no answers. So the situation was this. He'd driven down to LA to visit his mom and his siblings. Then on October 10th, 2014, he packs up his car and starts that long 1,100-mile drive back north, back to Seattle, back to Jennifer, back to their new life. In this quote, this is one of the last things anyone ever heard him say. He left a voicemail for Jennifer, and in it, he sounded really tired. He said he was going to go up into the mountains to rest. It's such a cryptic, haunting final message, you know? And it turns out that's exactly what he did. His phone records showed him turning off the main highway, diverting into that super remote area around Cache Creek. And then his phone just went silent. That ping was the last breadcrumb, and it's what eventually led investigators to find his car. So what did the official investigation actually find? Well, it's really more about what they didn't find. There were absolutely no signs of a struggle, no blood, nothing to suggest a crime had happened. A couple of people reported seeing a really tall guy who looked kind of disoriented. But massive searches of that rugged terrain, they turned up nothing. Zero. And law enforcement from the beginning has been pretty consistent. They don't think foul play was involved. So what happened to Rico Harris? Well, it really boils down to three main theories. Theory 1, he walked away on purpose. Maybe he left his stuff behind to make it look like something else happened, to start a new life. Theory 2, it was a tragic accident. Maybe he was disoriented, wandered off into that huge rugged landscape and just couldn't survive. And theory 3, the darkest one, suicide. Given his history of mental health struggles and that really strange final voicemail, it's a possibility you can't ignore. But here's the thing, and it's a big thing, especially for that first theory. A 6'9" man is, well, he's hard to miss, right? So why have there been zero credible sightings in over a decade? It just seems almost impossible to stay hidden for that long when you stand out so much. And that just makes this whole mystery even deeper. And so, more than 10 years later, the case is completely cold. Rico Harris is still officially a missing person. He's this giant lost to the shadows. And his family, his loved ones, they're just left with no answers, holding on to the memory of the man he was. And that really leaves us with a final, tough question. What truly defines a person? Is it the life they lived, his incredible talent, his fight for redemption, or is it the mystery they leave behind? For Rico Harris, has his legacy become this giant, unsolved puzzle? It's a question that, just like his disappearance, we may never, ever have an answer for.